Well, hello, and welcome to this English lesson about describing people. So, when you run into people, they're not all the same. Some people you can describe in certain ways, and the words I'm going to teach you today are basically describing what they're like, their character, the way they behave. We're not going to talk about short or tall or bald or anything like that. We're going to talk about how to describe people so you know what they are like. So once again, welcome to this English lesson about describing people. Arrogant. Someone who believes they are better or more important than others. You might work with someone like this. You might know someone who is arrogant, where they always want to do things at the time when they can do it. They don't always think about other people. They might say, I want to go see a movie at 8 o'clock this Friday. And then they insist on that's the time they want to go, so everyone else should go at the same time. Or at work, they might just think they're better than everyone else. Everyone else working on the project is working really hard, but they just walk around like they're the boss, even though they're not the boss. We would call that person arrogant. Someone who believes they are better or more important than others. The opposite would be humble, which I don't think I have on this list. Adorable. Someone who is very cute and easy to love. So a lot of times little kids are adorable, or they'll do things that are adorable. Sometimes small monkeys are adorable. Sometimes stuffed animals are adorable. But adorable simply means someone who is very cute and easy to love. I sometimes hear people describe their grandparents this way. If their grandfather is very kind and caring and nice, or if their grandmother is the same, they might say, oh, your grandparents are adorable. They're so nice. They're so kind. They're very fun to be around. So adorable, someone who is very cute and easy to love. Warm, someone who is kind, friendly, and makes others feel comfortable. I have some relatives in my family who are very warm people. In particular, I have an uncle where if he is at a family gathering, because he is such a warm person, because he is someone who is kind, friendly, and makes others feel comfortable, he just makes the event go better. I also have a brother-in-law who is like this. He is very warm. He is very friendly. He is very kind. And it's just a nice kind of person to be around. So if you are warm, you are someone who is kind, friendly, and makes others feel comfortable. Impatient. This is kind of a little bit different than warm, isn't it? Someone who gets annoyed easily when things take too long. This is a character trait that I have. I am sometimes impatient. If I'm in the car and we are going to leave at 8:30 in the morning to go somewhere, and Jen and the kids aren't ready to go, I sometimes get a little bit impatient. I don't honk the horn. I'm not rude or anything like that. But sometimes I am an impatient person, someone who gets annoyed easily when things take too long. Sometimes when Jen and I are going to Toronto, I get a little bit impatient waiting for the train, or I get a little bit impatient at the train station because I know if the train doesn't come soon, we will be late for whatever we're going to do. So again, impatient, someone who gets annoyed easily when things take too long. Aggressive, someone who is ready to fight, argue, or push others to get what they want. So there are two versions of aggressive. Someone can be verbally aggressive, where they don't hit or anything like that. So you might work with someone who you would describe as aggressive. That doesn't mean they're walking around kicking people and punching people. It simply means that they're very direct in the way they talk, and they're always willing to argue about everything. We also use the word aggressive to talk about someone who is physically trying to hit or kick people. When police arrest criminals, sometimes they are aggressive. They don't want the police officer to arrest them, and so they become aggressive. They try to kick and wrestle and punch the police officers. So again, aggressive can mean two things. You can be verbally aggressive, but you can also be physically aggressive with your hands and fists. Calm. Someone who stays relaxed and does not get upset easily. This is how I would like to be all the time. And I'm sure many of you are probably calm, but many of you probably wish you were more calm. Sometimes when something goes wrong at work, I'm not calm. I'm impatient. I get aggravated easily, but I wish that I was just always calm. Whenever there's conflict, the best way to resolve the conflict is usually to remain calm, to explain yourself clearly, and to seek a resolution. So calm, someone who stays relaxed and does not get upset easily. I'm very thankful that Jen is a calm person. She generally does not get upset quickly, and she's very calm and logical if we are talking about something where we disagree. So calm, someone who stays relaxed and does not get upset easily. Vulgar, someone who uses rude, offensive, or inappropriate language or behavior. So I cut off the edge of this photo because this person is giving this finger, which in North America is a very bad thing to do, a very bad gesture. It's very vulgar. But the person could also say that word. It starts with F. Or they could use language like swear words in a situation where it doesn't really make sense. So vulgar, someone who uses rude, offensive, or inappropriate language or behavior. Sometimes someone who is vulgar will talk about things like very explicit things that you normally don't talk about out loud. It's kind of hard to explain and keeping the lesson safe for work, but a vulgar person might refer to things that are best kept private as well. Lovable, someone who is easy to love because of their kind and pleasant nature. So as you can tell, the lesson was called describing people, but you can also use these adjectives to describe animals as well. We already saw Punch the Monkey earlier. You can say that a puppy is very lovable. Puppies are very cute. Puppies just like to crawl on you, and they like it when you pet them, and they try to lick your face. And some people find that lovable. I would find that a little bit annoying because I'm not really a pet person. But if you describe a dog as lovable, it means the dog is easy to love because the dog is kind and pleasant. And you might know people like this as well. You might have an old aunt, and she's very lovable. She's always nice to you. Whenever you visit, she gives you cake. She's just a very nice person. So she's easy to love because she is kind and pleasant and has a pleasant nature. Funny and fun. So let's talk about the difference here. If you say someone is funny, he's a funny guy, it's someone who makes others laugh. So a funny person is often telling jokes. A funny person is often saying things that make you laugh. Like, it's like your own personal stand-up comedian, someone who just makes life funny because they joke about the boss and they joke about the project at work, and they're just constantly making life enjoyable because they make you laugh. Fun is a little bit different though. It's someone who makes activities enjoyable and helps others feel happy. So if you say he's a really fun guy, it might simply mean he likes to do things. He's always in a good mood. If you at work are on a team with that person, the work is enjoyable because that person makes it enjoyable. So it doesn't mean they're telling jokes and making you laugh. It can mean that a little bit, but more commonly it means that they just make it fun. Like my family, my brothers and sisters are very fun. When we get together, we enjoy talking, and it's a very fun experience. So funny, someone who makes you laugh. Fun, someone who makes activities enjoyable and helps others feel happy. Violent, someone who uses physical force to hurt others. So when we use the word violent, we do mean that there is kicking and hitting happening. We do mean that someone is getting physical. When the police arrest someone, if we say it was a violent criminal, It means it's a criminal who's willing to do things that hurt other people, like physically hurt other people. So violent, someone who uses physical force to hurt others, or guns, or weapons. There are a lot of different kinds of violence that happen in the world. When someone is violent, they are willing to hurt other people. Lazy, someone who does not like to work or make an effort. So I will admit, there are times, at least a few times every week, where I am lazy. Sometimes even at work, I'm lazy. Yesterday, I was lazy at work because I had a class where students had to work on a project and I didn't have a lot of other work to do. So I actually did some reading. I guess I wasn't totally lazy because I was still learning about things to do as a teacher. But anyways, lazy, someone who does not like to work or make an effort. You can see this person has decided to lay on the couch and have their laptop on the coffee table and simply lay there and enjoy the day. You can be lazy and enjoy the day, by the way. I will say this though, I do not enjoy working with people who are lazy all the time. It's probably the one character trait I do not enjoy in life. Like if I'm working with someone and I'm doing twice as much work as they are on a project, very, very annoying. Dishonest, someone who lies or cheats. Honest, someone who tells the truth and does not cheat. So when you're dishonest, it means if you play a game and you roll the dice and it's a 5, and then when no one's looking, you kind of push it to make it a 6. Or when you're playing a game that involves money, like a board game, and then you're supposed to take $100 from another person, but you secretly take $200, like that's dishonest. So you are willing to lie, you are willing to say things that aren't true, and you are willing to cheat. You are willing to disobey and not follow the rules. Honest, someone who tells the truth and does not cheat. This is something where I wish all humans were more honest, but for some reason as humans, we have a little bit of both in us, don't we? I like to believe that for the most part, people are honest, and sometimes they're a little bit dishonest. But I am aware in the world that there are a lot of really dishonest people, but there's also a lot of really honest people. So an honest person would do this. They would, if they rolled the dice and it landed on the floor where other people couldn't see it, an honest person would say, it's a 4. Can someone else look at it so you know I'm not lying? Whereas a dishonest person might just say, it's a 3, even though it's a 4. Loyal, someone who stays faithful and supports people they care about. This is the super fan. The Toronto Raptors have a fan who is called the super fan, and super fan has gone to, I think, almost every single Raptors game ever. He's almost always there. He's kind of a bit of a celebrity now, but he is very loyal. He doesn't go and watch other basketball teams. He is a fan of the Toronto Raptors, so he is loyal. Someone who stays faithful and supports people they care about. When two people are married and they're together for 30, 40, 50 years, they're very loyal. I myself have brought my car to the same mechanic since I was 16 years old. I'm very loyal. I'm faithful and I support that person. So loyal, someone who stays faithful and supports people they care about. Courageous, someone who is brave and not afraid to face danger or difficulty. I almost always think of firefighters when I think of the word courageous. When you are a firefighter, when you arrive at a house that is on fire, you have to be very brave. You have to be very courageous because you need to put on all of your safety equipment and you need to go fight the fire. And you yourself might get injured. There's always a possibility. I don't know if you've ever seen a house burn down. It's very hot. It's very, very scary, actually. I have seen a house burn down, but it was actually a practice. the fire department, there was a very, very old house. And in order to do training, the owner of the house said the fire department could burn it down. This is kind of a rare thing. And so they lit the house on fire, and then they practiced doing their firefighting. And we got to watch. We got to sit in lawn chairs across the road and watch. It was a lot of fun. Timid, someone who is shy and easily scared. So when you are timid, you're not courageous. It's kind of the opposite. A timid person maybe doesn't even like talking to other people. A timid person would certainly not like doing something new. They would rather stay home and do something that they have always enjoyed doing. So timid, someone who is shy and easily scared. Big word here, egotistical. Someone who thinks mostly about themselves and believes they are very important. Very similar to arrogant. Egotistical and arrogant are very, very similar. In fact, you might describe someone with both words. Like, he's just really arrogant. He's really egotistical. He thinks mostly about themselves and believes they are very important. So I thought this was a good picture. He's trying to make sure his hair looks perfect, even though he's missing some hair. Oh, I wasn't going to teach the word bald, was I? Oh, there we go. I taught it anyway. So egotistical, I'll say it a few more times. An egotistical person is someone who thinks mostly about themselves and believes they are very important. Impolite and polite. Someone who is impolite has bad manners and is not respectful. I've seen this actually happen in real life, where one person is waiting to pull into a parking spot, and then they have their signal light on, and someone pulls out, and then someone else kind of drives quickly and takes the spot. That's kind of impolite. That's not a very nice thing to do. But yes, impolite, someone who has bad manners and is not respectful. I'm trying to think of another example. If there was a cake and it was cut into 8 pieces and there were 9 people in the room, it would be impolite for 8 people to take a piece of cake and 1 person to not get a piece. It would be polite to cut some of the pieces into smaller pieces so everyone could have some. When you're polite, it's someone who has good manners and shows respect to others. So someone who is polite would say good morning to you. Someone who is polite would ask, hey, I'm going to get myself a coffee. Do you want one? Someone who is polite would say please, and they would say thank you. We often teach our kids it's polite to say please when you want something and to say thank you when someone gives it to you. So if I said, Jen, could you please get me a cup of water? And then if Jen brought me a cup of water, I would say thank you when she brought me that cup of water. So once again, impolite, someone who has bad manners and is not respectful. Polite, someone who has good manners and shows respect to others. Cruel, someone who enjoys hurting others or does not care about their pain. So I didn't want to put the victim on the screen because I thought that was a little traumatic, but you can see that this man is basically telling someone something like, if you do that again, I'm going to sell your car. I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine someone being cruel. I don't think I'm a cruel person. It's not natural. I don't think I would have been a teacher this long if I was cruel. But someone who is cruel says mean things, does mean things, hurts others with their words, but can also hurt others physically. So cruel, someone who enjoys hurting others and does not care about their pain. Jealous, someone who feels upset because they want what someone else has. I went to a car show once and they had some really nice cars there, and I was jealous because I thought, man, it would be nice to be rich and drive cars like that. But I was only a little bit jealous because I'm not really that much of a car person. But I will say this, a friend of mine has a really, really nice computer, and I'm jealous. Like, it is a really nice computer. So it means I would love to have what that person has. So jealous, someone who feels upset because they want what someone else has. Sympathetic, someone who understands and cares about another person's feelings. So this would be like if you have a friend who's sick, you could be sympathetic. You're like, oh, I feel sad because they're sad. Okay. It means you're very kind to them. It means you understand what's happening in their life. It's good to be sympathetic. It's good to understand and care about another person's feelings. Generous, someone who likes to give and share with others. So if you are generous, and if you, let's say this, let's say one of my kids says, hey, I need $10, or may I have $10 to go out with my friends? If I was generous, I would give them $20. If I was at leaving the grocery store and there was someone raising money to help people in need, and I just said, oh, here's $100, I would be very generous. I'm someone who likes to give and share with others. And it's not always just about money. You can be generous with your time. You can be generous with your food. You can be generous with money. You could probably be generous with other things as well. But someone who likes to give and share with others. Frugal, someone who is careful with money and avoids wasting it. So when you are frugal, when you get your paycheck, you buy the things you need and you put the rest of the money in the bank. And you don't often buy things that are expensive or that you don't need. So a frugal person will even in their life do things like try to buy food that's on sale. A frugal person will try to wear the same sweater for 10 years instead of buying a new one, even though the elbows are getting a little bit worn. I think I'm frugal sometimes, but not always. Anyways, a fun word to say, isn't it? Frugal, someone who is careful with money and avoids wasting it. Welcoming, someone who makes others feel happy and comfortable when they arrive. So someone who is warm is usually also quite welcoming. This person just looks very happy to have people come into their home. So you are happy because this person is happy. They are welcoming you with their hands, like, welcome to my home. Come on in. Do you want a cup of tea? You can also be welcoming at work. When a new person starts working for your company or for your business, you should be very welcoming. You should welcome them to work. You should say hi every day, and you should be kind to them. So welcoming, someone who makes others feel happy and comfortable when they arrive. Clumsy. This is not a picture of me, but it could be. Someone who often drops things or moves in an awkward way. Sometimes when I'm going to class, I'm carrying my reading glasses, my computer, my mouse, a stack of papers, and usually a cup of water. And I can be quite clumsy sometimes and spill some of the water. The opposite of clumsy would be someone who is very coordinated. That's the word. But this gentleman here, maybe he's a bit clumsy. When he's out walking, he accidentally steps where he shouldn't step, and sometimes he falls down. But definitely, if you spill things a lot, you would probably be described as clumsy. Awkward, someone who feels uncomfortable and does not move or act smoothly. We usually use this to describe someone who is uncomfortable. If you see someone at a party and they're standing by the wall and they aren't talking to anyone and they're just kind of looking around and they're not sure what to do, we might describe that person as being awkward. You wouldn't say it to them because it's kind of an insult, but an awkward person is someone who feels uncomfortable and does not move or act smoothly. Impossible, someone who cannot be pleased or dealt with easily. If you have a coworker or if you have a manager or a boss who is impossible, it means no matter how hard you work or no matter how good a job you do, they are never happy. They are just impossible. And we sometimes say it as a whole sentence, like impossible to work with. But that is not an enjoyable situation. But if someone is impossible, someone who cannot be pleased or dealt with easily, you might have a family member who's impossible. Maybe you have, I won't say like a sibling or cousin who's just impossible. Like no matter what you do, they are never happy. Absent-minded, this is also me. Someone who often forgets things or is not paying attention. You can see the groceries and the purse are on top of the car. This person is absent-minded. You can kind of understand the word. It's like your mind is absent. It means you are not thinking when you do something. So someone who often forgets things or is not paying attention is absent-minded. When I am tired and when I am not feeling well, I am usually absent-minded. I might go to work and I might get to work and realize I didn't bring my computer to work. I might go to work and realize I forgot my lunch at home, because when I'm not feeling well, I tend to be a little bit absent-minded. Introverted and extroverted. When you're introverted, it's someone who prefers being alone and feels tired after socializing. This describes me, believe it or not. And extroverted, someone who enjoys being around people and feels energized by socializing. So I do like socializing. I do enjoy sometimes being around other people, but it usually needs to be people I know well, and it can't be a lot of them. Like if I sit down with my siblings and we have tea, it's very, very enjoyable. But if I go to a family reunion where there's 100 people, I would not enjoy it. I would feel very, very tired at the end of the day. So an introverted person is called an introvert, and an extroverted person is called an extrovert. Little change in lettering there as well. So introvert, someone who prefers being alone and feels tired after socializing. Introverted. Extroverted, someone who enjoys being around people and feels energized by socializing.